What's going on, folks? We're back with some more Elite Speak, and we're going to review the most recent episode of AEW Dark, and it should be episode 49, September 1st, 2020. The show opens up with Excalibur making his return, and with Taz. Excalibur was sorely missed, in my opinion, from Dynamite and Dark the past month or so. It is going to be nice to have a guy back that can actually call the moves, name the moves that are going on in the ring. Good stuff, because the other old guys couldn't keep up. For the most part, they did their jobs, but they didn't have the same energy as Excalibur did. Well, maybe except for Chris Jericho. But Excalibur, I'm glad to see he's back, and hopefully we get to see him on Dynamite this week. Or tonight, actually. Dynamite airs tonight on TNT in its regular time slot at 7 Eastern. So, should be good. Good stuff. Dark opened up with Eddie Torres versus Shawn Spears, and this match had fans in attendance because it was recorded or taped before Dynamite last week. So this was the only match on Dark that had fans, and it was noticed when the rest of the matches hit because it was dead silent. The wrestlers in the crowd didn't even attempt to make as much noise as the actual crowd did. So that was noticeable. But both Eddie and Spears wrist locked to start the match. Spears gets the best of him with a snapmare. Spears goes for Torres' eye and stomps a mud hole in him after a sucker punch. The match spilled outside. Torres gets slammed into the rails and the ring apron in the process. In the ring corner, Spears goes for a 10 count punch, but Torres goes for one on Spears, but Spears Manhattan drops him on his yam bags, in the words of Taz. Spears then holds Torres up on his shoulders and hits the C4 to finish the match. Spears wins, and post-match, Spears mounted Torres with his glove and yelped him in the face with it. Spears sent a message to the rest of the locker room in the process. Spears is obviously being built up for something. Many speculated for a horseman run, but we shall see. Many want him back on Dynamite because he's doing a great job on Dark, but not many people are going to see it. We shall see what happens with him. But it was nice to hear Excalibur call this, because immediately when Spears hit his Death Valley Driver, aka the C4, Excalibur knew exactly what to call it, which was the C4. And it was definitely, his commentary helped with this match. Next match, we had Santana and Ortiz versus Fabu and Ryzen. Santana and Ryzen kicked off the match. Ryzen gets a headlock in on Santana, but Santana brings him down with the side head scissors. Later, Santana hits the Three Amigos on Ryzen. Fabu then gets the tag from Ryzen, and Fabu gets a crossbody off on Ortiz. Ortiz later hits a pop-up powerbomb and a kick to the face on Fabu for the win. Post-match, Santana says the best friends finally grew some balls big enough to catch them slipping last week. They like that heart. And later, Ortiz says the drawers that he left Sue is a gift from him to her. They're really ragging on Sue to build up that heel heat for this match that is going to happen tonight on Dynamite between Santana and Ortiz and the Best Friends. And I think the Best Friends will come out on top. Next match, we had Allie versus Cassandra Golden, the first women's match of the night. We had 3, by the way, and I'll let you know which one I thought was the best towards the end of the review. First off, I wanted to know where Allie has been since the beatdown on the Nightmare Family, Because before that, I know she lost the tag team tournament with Brandi to Ivelisse and Diamante, but didn't Allie want to be a part of the Nightmare family with QT Marshall and Dustin and etc.? So what I wonder is, where was she when the Dark Order beat down the Nightmare family a few weeks ago on that Saturday Night Dynamite? Even Brandi got choked out by Anna Jay. So where was Allie at to help fend off the Dark Order when the rest of the Nightmare family was out there? You even had QT and Dustin come out to try to save Cody, but they got beat down. I guess Allie didn't want any of that. She wanted to be in the Nightmare family, but not that bad. So I was wondering what was up, but here she is, Allie. First time we've seen her since she lost that Women's Tag Team Cup tournament. Just something to think about. So both Allie and Cassandra locked it up to start the match. Later, Allie gets some strikes in on Cassandra in the ring corner. Allie then hits a twisting neck breaker, and Allie later demands that QT pick her up. And this is when the fight spilled out on the outside. Allie demanded QT help her up to the ring apron. Later, Golden hits a side slam on Allie. This was her first real offense of the match. Golden then hits another headlock, and Golden then gets another headlock in on Allie and gets a knee lift in to stop Allie from running the ropes. Allie then hits a running bulldog to a reverse DDT on Golden for the win. I didn't think this match was all that great. It did what it was supposed to. It got Allie a win, and that's that. I think she could use a better finisher than a reverse DDT, because I think someone else uses a reverse DDT to finish a match as well. Got to vary it up on the finishers. Next segment, Dasha catches up with Santana and Ortiz, and just as she was about to get a word, they got ambushed by the Best Friends. And this went on for a bit before Dasha wanted some officials to come down and help alleviate the situation, but we didn't get to see that as the segment faded to the next match graphic. And that next match was Frankie Kazarian versus Angelico of TH2. This was a pretty good match. Both locked it up, and Kaz gets to control, but Angelico counters a hold. Kaz then drop toe holds Angelico. We got some mat wrestling ability to start this match, and both stood tall after the short spat. Kaz then uses the ropes for a back flip and arm drags Angelico. Angelico rolls Kaz into a submission, and Kaz reaches the ropes for a break. Kaz then goes for a bridge pin and gets a 2 count. And at this point, I was figuring, I mentioned, who thought this match would be a slower paced affair? I did not. I thought we were going to get some high flying, fast paced action here, but we didn't. Angelico attempts to drag Kaz out of the corner, but he lands on his feet. Kaz then gets a slew of offense, followed by a drop kick. Angelico goes for a BT bomb, but Kaz reverses it into a reverse DDT for the win. There you go, another reverse DDT to finish the match. Gotta have some variance there. Don't want it to look all samey, but it was a good match. Next segment, we had Tony Schiavone speaking to Brandi. Brandi stuffs Brand right into Tony Schiavone's pockets. He said the Nightmare Sisters lost in that match, the Tag Team Cup Tournament match. Most thought it was designed for you ladies, but it was not, Tony said. Brandi was attacked by Anna Jay, etc. Pretty much Tony recapped the recent events, the Tag Cup Tournament, and what happened on that Saturday Night Dynamite at the end when the Nightmare family got beat down by the Dark Order. Brandi says she's perturbed that a trainee from the Nightmare Factory decided to listen to Daddy Brody when her back was turned. She has a problem with that. Maybe Daddy Brody told you you're young, pretty, and the world owes you something. Brandi says she's been pretty a long time and it doesn't mean shit anymore. The only thing that matters is being smart, and Brandi doesn't have much confidence in Anna's intellect, considering that she joined a goon squad that needs Daddy Brody to tell him what to do and what to think all the time. Brandi says you're bold, I'll give you that. Right to the top of the food chain. When you take aim at the queen, you better not miss. Here I am, Anna, walking, talking, cocky as ever, so come on, let's play. This time, I'd like to face forward, if that's all right with you. A fair shake. Be prepared if you miss again, I'm gonna send your pretty little ass right back to the Nightmare Factory where it belongs. And the promo ended there. As Brandi almost walked down the wrong tunnel, but she corrected herself. And I thought it was a good promo. It was solid. It did what it had to do. It moved the story forward. No one messes with the queen. So expect some kind of retaliation soon from either Brandi or Anna may actually fire back with a promo of her own. Good stuff. Most will say they didn't like this promo because they don't like Brandi, period. That doesn't mean that she can't talk. It's clear that she can, and the promo was good. And I actually think she's gotten better in the ring since her match at Fight for the Fallen last year. She has improved leaps and bounds. Anyone who really takes note of what she does in the ring will tell you that there has been improvement. But we shall see where all this goes. Next match we had Donnie Primetime, aka Donnie Janela, and Ryan Rembrandt versus the Gun Club, Billy Gunn and Austin Gunn. Billy and Ryan starts the match off. Billy headlocks Ryan, but later tags to Austin and tags back to Billy because Austin didn't last too long in the ring to start. He quickly got Billy back in. Later, Donnie gets a tag and faces off against both Billy and Austin. He tags back in Austin, Billy, and Austin goes for his hip toss neck breaker finish for the win. I didn't really get much notes off on this match, but the Gun Club wins. Wasn't bad. Next match was the second women's match of the night. My second favorite. Danny Jordan versus Abaddon. Abaddon attempts to corner Danny step for step to start the match, mimicking her every move. Both then lock it up, and Jordan gets a few right strikes in on Abaddon, but she no-sells the strikes and clotheslines Danny instead. Abaddon then targets Danny's left knee with many strikes. She then grabs her legs and drives the leg down to the mat twice. And I noted that there was a nice bit of storytelling here. Danny clearly can't put her weight down on that knee. Danny then gets a clothesline off on Abaddon, as she was pretty much one-legged at that point. Abaddon then rises up and goes for the knee again. Abaddon stalks Danny from the outside of the ring later and drives her face first into the apron. Later in the ring, Abaddon puts on a submission hold and strikes the knee as she gets Danny to submit for the win. This was the most story-driven of a match that I've seen from Abaddon, besides her debut match with Hikaru Shida and the match she had with Kylan King. Good stuff. Abaddon slowly adding more moves to her repertoire. That's good. I always like to see improvement. Danny Jordan looked good as well. She sold her butt off. She played her role well. Good stuff. Looking forward to more from these two. Next match, Tony Donati versus Ricky Starks. Ricky attempts to shake hands, but brings it back to start the match. Both lock it up afterwards. Donnie shoves Starks and gets a 1 count. Starks goes for a body slam, but Tony reverses it for a 2 count. The match spills outside the ring. Starks lifts and drops Donati on the apron. Donati later gets a clothesline attempt on Starks, but he dodges it. Then Starks hits his Dominator-like move on Donati for the win. Solid match. Did what it had to do. This match was good here. The next matchup, Jurassic Express, accompanied to the ring by an injured Marco Stunt, versus John Cruz and David Ali. Ali looked good in this match. Cruz mocks Marco, then attempts to headlock Luchasaurus. It doesn't work. And the same with his arm drags. He attempted to hit on Luchasaurus. They didn't work. Luchasaurus then tosses Cruz into his corner, whom tags in Ali. Luchasaurus chops Ali 3 times. Luchasaurus brings him to his corner and tags in Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy picks up the pace and step up in Hurricane Rana's Ali. Jungle Boy had a flurry of offense at this point and showed great athleticism. Luchasaurus then hits a tail whip and Jungle Boy flatlines Ali for a 2 count. Luchasaurus just suplex tosses Ali, and Ali later tags in Cruz, whom tries to slow Luchasaurus down, but it didn't work. Luchasaurus gets his kicks in on both and tags in Jungle Boy. Luchasaurus chokeslams Ali, kicks him, and Jungle Boy elbows him in the back of the head. Luchasaurus then hits his finish, the Extinction Event, as Jungle Boy completes it for the win. Solid tag team match. Did what it had to do. And David Ali showed he can bump like crazy. He did a good job. John Cruz was good in his role. And here comes my favorite women's match of the night. Right here. And of course it featured Anna Jay, who took on Red Velvet, who shows a lot of promise. Both ladies shows promise. And this match showed you why. First thing I noticed, Anna Jay got a new theme song, which was nice. It sounds good. I didn't mind her old theme, but I like this one as well. So Anna Jay gets Red Velvet in the corner and whips her into another and delivers a leg lariat, and Velvet gets one of her own off on Anna Jay. Jay then says, "You think she's gonna win?" Velvet then knees her in the face and drags her into the ring and wears Jay down in the corner with strikes and a few stomps. She then reverses Jay's whip, trips her, and elbow drops her for a 2 count. Jay then knees Red Velvet in the gut and whips her hair in her face. Jay mounts Velvet and delivers several closed fist shots to Velvet. This match so far showed a lot of ferocity from Anna Jay. She had a lot of nice facial expressions and she showed a lot of character. The most character she's shown in a while, actually ever, in any of her AEW matches. The Dark Order is clearly influencing her. Anna Jay then snap suplexes Velvet, but then gets kicked by Red Velvet, but she goes for a split leg trip. And Jay caught her out with a flipping neck breaker. Both slug it out with strikes in the middle of the ring, and Velvet sling blades Jay. After Velvet whips it up, she did her signature whipping motion as if she's whipping up cake batter, which her name is Red Velvet, stirring up some trouble, and double knees Jay in the back for a 2 count. Jay slugs her with the right and then back leg kicks Velvet. Jay rolls out the ring and says, "This is the new me." Runs and takes down Velvet on the outside. Jay then throws Velvet into the guardrail and throws her into the ring. And this is where Red Velvet was showing off her bumping ability. She can take guardrail shots like crazy. And she showed nice athleticism as well. That dance background is paying off. Jay mounts Red Velvet, curb stomps her twice, and grabs Red for a rear naked choke and puts Velvet to sleep and holds it a bit after she taps for the win. It was a great women's match. We need to see more like that. Had some nice storytelling and character work from both ladies. Good stuff. I applaud them both. Once again, we need more women's matches like that in AEW. They'll get there. This is a nice start. Hopefully Anna Jay brings that same aggressiveness when she tees off against Brandi Rhodes eventually. Next match, we had Kip Sabian versus Shawn Dean. This is another good match. One of my other favorites, mainly because I like Shawn Dean's work. Kip wants the crop top back in style. He had a sign supporting that. Both lock it up for a bit as Kip snapmares Dean. Later, Dean hits 2 arm drags and drop kicks Sabian as he gets momentum. Kip then slows that down with kicks and strikes to Dean. Kip says he didn't take Frankie seriously, yet he's back to this again. This as in he's back to another enhancement match. This is clearly a story going here. Dean then goes for a knee strike but gets caught in one from Sabian and gets punted for his troubles. Shawn then rises up and releases German suplexes Sabian and gets a dazed Kip for a saluted DDT and gets a 2 count for his troubles. Dean later gets popped up for a knee strike and Kip sets him up for a rope assisted neck breaker finish to win the match. Solid. And then we had the event, the Initiative versus Private Party. This match had a lot of storytelling and some nice ring work. Cutler and Quinn locked it up, but the Initiative gets the teamwork in quickly. Avalon then gets the tag, isolates Quinn and tags Cutler back in. Later, Cassidy blocks the corner spot and gets the tags and takes out the Initiative with a crossbody. Cutler gets a back body drop on Cassidy as he shrieks and tagged in Quinn. Cutler then tags in Avalon and gets a crossbody off on Quinn. We get the first tope of the night from Avalon, I believe. Initiative goes for a double team move, but Cassidy backflips out of it. Tags in Quinn and Leva Bates later attempts to hurricane around Quinn outside, but to no avail as Quinn hand springs out of it. Cassidy then gets the cradle on Cutler after Cutler hits a 450 for a 3 count. Private Party essentially stole one from the Initiative. Post-match, Avalon clothesline Cutler and hits him with his own die. This may be the end of the Initiative. And that's how we ended Dark. Not bad. Good match. Interesting finish. Keeps you intrigued for the next episode. And BTE. Should be something. And that'll do it for your AEW Dark review for September 1st, 2020. Thanks for listening, and I'll be with you Thursday for the AEW Dynamite review. Stay tuned. See you then.